Okay, good evening, everybody. This is day 6 of my video blog, and this is for my 90-day challenge to do a video every day for 90 days. And I'm telling you, it's starting to get hard. Because, like, right now, I would much rather be in the bed because I seem to be I can't get this done before it seems like I can't get this done before 10, 11 o'clock at night. So it is 10:43 right now, and I'm tired. I want to go to bed, but I'm gonna keep doing this. And I just want to give some shout outs to my dad. Thank you. You're my very first subscriber. Woohoo, right? Yay. And to my business partner, Chris, who keeps me motivated, asking me, hey, I didn't see that blog yet. Waiting on it. So, keeps me motivated. So, yay. Thank you, Chris. And Brew Ann for encouraging me and telling me that I'm doing pretty good, even though I might not feel like it. So, yay. Thank you, Brew Ann. Brew Ann. I keep wanting to call her Brienne. Brew Ann. Um, I didn't really know what to do tonight, so I figured this would be creative night, and I just say, share some of one of my stories that I do because I write, and I didn't really know what else to do, so I figured I'd just read some of that to you guys. So what I'm gonna read today is called "Just a Day at the Gallery." It's a short story I did. Um, I've entered in a couple of contests. I haven't heard anything yet, and when I took my creative writing class, my class seemed to really enjoy it. And my sister, who was just pissed off because she said, oh, it's ended too quick. It's too short. Hence, short story. She didn't get that. But anyway, so I'm going to read a little bit of it to you. I don't usually share too much of my work to people, but so this is kind of coming out of my box too, but that's the whole point of this video blog, right? It's for me to come out of my box. So I don't know how much I'm gonna read because I don't want this to be too long. So this is a good interaction. So if you guys want me to continue reading this tomorrow, I'll start it. And if you want to hear more tomorrow, leave me some comments down below here and let me know that that's what you want to hear. Okay? So, and I apologize because I'm actually going to be reading because I have it on my screen. Okay? Now, okay. They've been advertising the place like crazy the past few weeks on billboards, news channels, and flyers around the university. It was an old warehouse some art students turned into a gallery. It was an ingenious way to publicize their work and help pay for school. Hold on, sorry. Okay, and help pay for school. John hadn't talked to anyone who'd been there yet or was interested in going. Most of the fellas he worked with were only interested in getting drunk after work working hard on the construction site. The closest any of them ever had to anything cultural was hiring a Chinese or a Latino prostitute. They don't have any naked women on the walls in there, so I ain't going, Tim said when John asked him to go join him. He trying to get you to join that gallery too? Don't nobody want to spend their Saturday at no museum. I got a couple of honeys I'm trying to get at this weekend. Know what I mean? Rich said, pounding fists with Tim. Well, I think you both could benefit from it. I mean, oil paintings look so real. Not as good as the real thing. Sure, don't you feel the same? Rich said, cutting John off. Well, I'm going. I think it'll be exciting, John finished. Some of those old paintings aren't so bad. I mean, who was that guy that made them movies about? Tim asked. Da Vinci, John answered. Yeah, him. There was some cool paintings in that movie. But Rich is right. I ain't spending my Saturday at no gallery. I spent all week working hard. I'm about to relax, Tim said. You ain't gonna be relaxing the way your wife be bitching, Rich said, and they all laughed in agreement. All right, I'll go alone, John said, throwing his hands up. The student gallery was on the east side of the city in the decaying area. John hoped it would bring some positive attention to the area. There are a few businesses still running, like the liquor store and beauty supply places. Other than that, it was deserted. He drove through the city on autopilot as he thought about finishing his own art history degree. There was nothing stopping him from doing it now. Maybe I can even do some painting of my own to sell there, he thought to himself. He once loved painting and how he would lose himself in it. It was like going to a whole new world that he created on a canvas. It would help him when he had to watch his mom slowly die. He would go into the yard and paint his emotions away till she came back, till she called him back to reality of this world. And it was what helped him cope with her sickness the best. As he drove to the place, he was surprised to see that no one was there waiting to get into the gallery. He figured with all the hoopla made over it, there'd be a line to get in, especially at noon on a Saturday. He parked in a lot across the street and made his way to the building, tightening his jacket as he moved through the autumn wind. He marveled at the sight of the entrance. It had the same Greek columns as most museums. How did they afford that? Must be made of plaster, he wondered. As he approached them, he felt them. They were smooth as baby's butt and solid stone. The two entry doors were solid wood with brass handles. He stepped back, looking up at the flag banners they had, welcoming all to come and make donations too, of course. He made his way in with continued amazement. The place was expansive. There were more columns inside, creating a direct path to a set of doors on the other side, which had to be half a football field away. Walls and lights were set up everywhere, just like in a real gallery. Paintings hung on every wall in magnificent wooden and brass frames, straight canvases and silver metal frames. The floor was its own artwork. Masonic tile, creating different images filled with the blank spaces throughout the room, with polished marble tile spreading elsewhere. Sir, it's a $10 donation to get in, the young girl at the register said, handing him a brochure of the place. Sorry, he said, handing her the money. This place is magnificent. It must have cost a fortune to make. How did students manage it? There are a lot of donations made, and I think they got a grant too. Enjoy your visit and tell a friend, she said, handing him his ticket. John walked away mesmerized. He had never seen so much art in one room. They had contemporary, modern, and figure sculptures strewn about. The paintings on the wall consisted of oil paintings, acrylics, and even water painting that looked like photographs. What caught his eye the most were the carvings in the walls and columns. On each side of the entrance door were what has to be 9-foot carvings of angels. I bet money that's supposed to be archangels Michael and Uriel, he said to himself. He said to himself out loud. They are. You have Michael and Uriel here. Raphael is in the center covering the room in the open area there, the ticket girl said pointing to the far doors. And there are 4 more in the back by those 2 doors. I believe they are Gabriel, Serakiel, Hanno, and Raguel, she said after reading the back of the brochure. Why do you have angels carved in the door? John asked. I don't know, just some additional artwork, the ticket girl said, resuming her seat. John began to make his way through the room, looking at all the pieces and details. The paintings were vibrant with lifelike qualities. Some had such detail like lines in the faces or tiny tin buttons, and he wondered if the students were really that talented. The sculptures were no different. The students who did these were just as talented. The metal was turned in just the right areas in the proper technique that takes years to master. The welding marks were covered or smooth so fine you only noticed them if you knew where to look. What fascinated him the most were the carvings. All along the wall, even behind the pictures, were carving of winged creatures in black outline. Some were small, some were large, all showing every vein in the wings, every tooth and claw, every scale they had, if they had them. And when he swiped his hand across them, the wall was warm to the touch. It was like they were living and breathing creatures. There were more on the columns that ran across the gallery. These were animals of all kinds, birds, pigs, rabbits, deer, mice. Name it, it was there. All had wings attached to them and the same intricate detailing. The only difference is the columns were cool to the touch, and all the carvings ran from the floor to the ceiling. Are you an architect or something? The ticket girl asked. She had been watching him checking out the walls. No, I'm just fascinated by these carvings, John said. What carvings? She replied. The ones all over the walls and columns, he said to her. She just looked at him like he was crazy. then put her earplugs in and went back to reading her magazine. John stood there wondering how she could not see him. He made his way over to the other door, stopping to examine each column and new wall. When he finally stood before the doors to enter the next room, he noticed a small marking in the frame of the outline of both doors from top to bottom, side to side. How odd, he thought. He didn't recognize any of it. It wasn't hieroglyphics, Celtic, Celtic, occult, or scribed in any language he ever seen. He gasped at the doorknobs, which were warm like the wall carvings. The door slowly creaked open. All was dark inside as the doorway slowly opened and the light from the finished room slowly spilled in. John paused. He heard a voice. Not a voice, a whimper. He opened the door fully and saw a man on the ground, beaten. There were 4 men lined up in front of him as he feverishly tried to scoot away from them. "What are you doing to him?" John shouted. The men turned to him, grinning, showing shark-like teeth, red eyes, and stretched faces. Faces unlike anything he'd ever seen. "Look, boys, fresh meat," one of them said. At the same time, an unseen force blew John back inside the other room, slamming the door behind him. He landed skidding halfway across the floor. He sat there looking for something, anything to use to help the man fight these things off. But there was nothing around. He got to his feet to go back, but a strange noise stopped him. He paused and looked around for the source of the crunching noise of something breaking free. He looked around to see black, dark, red-eyed creatures rising out of the wall carvings, floating through the undisturbed pictures. He could hear the screeches as they broke free, and he watched horrified as they took flight, flying in the outer circle of the columns. Then it happened again. As the black-winged creatures built up their momentum flying, white creatures rose off the columns, stretching and screeching, squealing and neighing, and they were dipped in the mass of black. They were pushing them against the wall, fighting them back into their places. As the whirlwind surrounded him, leaving him with nowhere to go, a figure descended in front of him. It was a masculine, tall, transparent, and Raphael. The figure stopped in front of him. Inside his head, John heard a voice. It was the voice of the figure in front of him. "Worry not, you will not be harmed." It said to him, "I am the archangel known to your kind as Raphael. They are the other 6, he said. And the door from the other room burst open, and 4 figures like that of the one before him entered the room in the fight. John turned around to see Michael. Uriel were already battling creatures. Together with the flying animals, they fought the black creatures back into the walls. The archangels lit the walls, sealing the creatures back in. Michael Uriel came to stand behind Raphael. The others stood side by side behind John. Afraid of what they might do to him, he turned to see if the girl was still there or if she ran off to get help. "She's out cold right now. She knows nothing of what just took place," Uriel said in John's head, staring at his face. "I must be going crazy. Did I hit my head or something?" John wondering as he feels his head for bruises or bumps. "You're not crazy, and you didn't hit your head," Hannah said from behind him. "Can you please stop talking to me inside my head, and please tell me what the hell is going on here?" John said out loud. I know, real dramatic, right? Uriel started snickering at him, and John became quickly annoyed with him. "Don't be so uptight," Uriel said out loud while walking over to check out on the ticket girl. "Go secure your places in the other rooms. We'll take care of this," Raphael said to the other 4 angels from the other room. "It's a good day for you, human," Gabriel said to John as he walked away. "You will be blessed," Sarakel said, smiling down on lowly John. All 4 passed back through the doors in which they came. "What are they talking about?" John asked Raphael and Uriel as Uriel returned. "Humans do not notice the carvings on the walls or columns, but you did. That makes you special," Raphael said. It's like 4 more pages. We're like 15 minutes into this. Should I continue? Yeah, we'll just go knock it out. Y'all can watch it in pieces, I guess. Humans do not notice the carvings on the walls or columns, but you did. That makes you special, Raphael said. How? Why? What happened? Who are those things in there that with that guy? The guy, is he going to be okay? You need to help him, John stammered out. Slow down and listen, Euro said. There is much to tell you, Michael added. Yeah, but he needs your help, John said, trying to make his way to the other room, but his legs were stuck. There's nothing to be done for him, Michael said with finality in his voice. And as as John's mouth moved to form a response, Michael quickly added, "This place is a portal for the darkness." The man in the other room was theirs to claim. He led a life of wrongdoing and turned his back on the light. We cannot protect him, Michael said. But you're angels, archangels. You could defeat any darkness, right? John said. We can only interfere when called upon. That man forgot our names long ago. Man was given free will, and he used his in the manners not approved. He belongs to them, Michael said, ending the conversation. Is that why there are no other people here? John asked. The darkness has taken over some humans to do their will. Building this place was one of them, Raphael said. Don't look so worried. We have our own people out there swaying humans away from here, Euro said nonchalantly. Then why are you here? Why did you help me? John asked. Because you can see the carbon. That means you have his light inside of you. When you touched the carbons, you woke up the beast beneath, Raphael said. We are the protectors of this place. When you woke up the darkness, you also woke up the guardians in the columns as well. They called us here, Michael asked. What do you mean, his light? John asked. The angel stood before John, staring at him as if he should know the answer. You mean, he started as they continued their silence. Not me. Not his light, John said, pointing up to the sky. Why do humans always point upward, up, as if he were sitting up there all day? You all asked the others and then waved off the question. So he's not up there? No, he is everywhere and everyone. All things come of him, through him. He is in everyone. It is his light that allowed you to see what happened here tonight, Raphael said. Now we give you your gifts so you may do his will. He finished, moving closer. John took a step back. What do you mean, his will? What am I doing? He asked. You dare question it? After all he has done for you? All he has given you? Michael said, outraged. Calm yourself, Michael. He doesn't understand. Let us show him, Raphael said. Images flashed through John's head. He was 5 playing Superman climbing the dresser. He fell onto the bed, just missing the wooden edge. He was 7 at the public pool. He had just slipped and fell into the deep end, not knowing how to swim. He was pulled out before his head could go below the water. He was 16 and walked away from an accident on the ice that totaled his car. He was 20, taking care of his mom, paying her medical bills. He was 35, burying her after her long fight with cancer. He was standing before a battle, untouched. Emotions filled John as he fell to his knees, dripping tears onto the ground. He always felt alone, forgotten. Here in this gallery at this moment, he was being shown that he was never alone at any part of his life. What does he want from me? He asked. Rise and let us give you your gifts, Raphael said to John, helping John to his feet. Raphael touched the center of his forehead with his finger, and a cool sensation spread through John's body, stretching to every part of his body down to the ends of the hair. I'll give you the gift of sight so you may see what others do not. Feel what others miss. Understand what others cannot conceive, Raphael said. He removed his finger and stepped back to the side. Michael was next to stand in front of him. He too placed his finger in the center of John's forehead. Warmth spread through his body, mingling with the cool. I give you the light of protection. As long as your light holds and your faith is strong, darkness will never haunt or harm you. but you will have to stay strong, faithful, and fearless. Michael said, also taking a step back. Mine's the coolest, just to let you know, Euro said in John's head as he stepped in the front of him. Raphael and Michael sternly looked at Euro, silently telling him to get a move on. Okay, my gift is the most important, Euro said seriously. He also placed a finger on John's forehead. John had the sensation of a cool breeze intertwined with the flow of water melting inside of him. He felt no sensation and every sensation at the same time. He was grounded and lifted. He was inspired and overcome by all emotions. He didn't know how to feel or what to do, but Euro's words reached him and calmed his internal storm. My gift is that of creativity. It would allow you to express what you see in paintings, sculptures, words, or any way that moves you. You will express emotion through your work that will inspire others in ways that they will not understand. Maintain your humbleness, and this gift will always care for you. Seek what is beyond yourself, and your gift will leave you with your work unfinished. I must warn you, you will see things others do not. You will see human nature in every form, good and bad. You will feel emotions so strong they will pour out of you and onto your work. You will change the lives of many by inspiring them, opening their eyes, and lifting up the goodness already in them. Just remember who to give credit to, Euro said finally, removing his finger. John felt the coolness and the warmth in the storm. He could feel the inspiration coming to him. He could see what he needed to do and how to make it work. He didn't need to go back to school. Everything he needed was now within him. He stood there, envisioning the paintings, the sculptures, the drawings, books, speeches, and more. His path was chosen, and he would walk it. The three archangels smiled as they watched John take it all in. They could feel his determination grow and knew he was well chosen. Their job was done. They glided back to their portal carved into the wall, satisfied. All would be well. That's it. Okay, so I just went on and read the whole thing. I know it was longer than I expected, but like I said, you can read it in parts. Hopefully you liked it. Yeah, I don't do too good with the voices. Hopefully you were able to distinguish the two. Just a little background. I picked these three archangels because they're kind of special to me. Michael, which is for those of you who aren't familiar, this is for those who aren't familiar. Michael is the archangel of protection who looks over us and protects us from harm. That we can call on him and he's supposed to come to help protect you. So if you are like afraid or if you're in a situation that you need to get out of safely, you would call on Michael. Raphael, he's more of the how can I put it? I guess more by the book kind of thing, kind of archangel, I guess you could say. But he was the one that was the healer, guiding star. They have a lot of things with Raphael, but it's all centered around those two things mainly, which is healing and guidance. So he would be the one to guide you to where you needed to go. He would be the one to help heal whatever is ailing you. And then Euro is the archangel of creativity. And I kind of like it because I figure, Archangel creativity is going to be kind of down to earth, a little spunky, that kind of thing. Because, he has to be creative, right? And art people aren't stuffy, at least not the cool ones anyway. So I imagine him as one of the cool ones. So that's why I kind of made him like that. The other four, there really wasn't a whole lot mentioned about them, so it wasn't too much I could mention about them. And then too, just from my own personal life, I can really can't think of the word. Okay, I can't think of the word, but those are the ones I relate to. There we go. Those are the three that I relate to. So I hope you enjoyed the story. Like I said, leave a comment. I'll read it. And I'm sorry that this took so long. I didn't expect for it to go this long, so I apologize. I was just going to read like half of it and then come back, but it didn't happen. So hopefully you enjoyed it, right? Okay, so you guys have a good night. This is day 6. Yeah, I think this is day 6. Yep, day 6 on my video blog. So I have 84 more to go. 84 more days, y'all. Woohoo! All right, so have a good night, and thanks for watching.